This the Two Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Nino. Why do women pick and choose? We have heard that in rap songs. We have heard that when we go to the clubs. We have heard women be in a huddle, talking to each other. I'm a girl, look at him. Girl, check out him. What is he this? What is he that? Why does women pick and choose? That's a very, very interesting question because I also have thought of that sometimes too. But I guess men pick and choose too, so I guess it got to be even playing field. I guess what really I'm saying is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. It starts from society's expectations that women are the primary choosers in romantic relationships. Really? That's very interesting because I thought the man was the hunter, but hey, everything want to be equal. But I thought the man was the hunter, but I guess it kind of seems like that because the man can approach a woman, and just because he approaches doesn't mean that, they're going to kick it or that's going to be a match or they going to get together or she like him or whatever. He can only approach her. So I guess the women really may be the primary choosers, even though, again, I thought the man was the hunter. He initiates everything. It seems something men can't adapt to. The notion is often rooted in traditional gender roles where men are expected to pursue the woman, while women are to be pursued. However, it's a simplification of a complex dynamic. Both men and women actively choose partners based on various factors, and it's not accurate to suggest that women are solely responsible for choosing. I wouldn't think so. Because again, I think the man makes the move. Now, more than often, I believe that the man can make the move toward a woman, and then the woman might reject the man, but the man made the first move. So maybe that's how they're looking at the dynamic of it. The man makes the move to the woman, but then it also comes down to the woman's choice if she's gonna say yes or no. After the man raps to her, or they sit down and conversate a little bit, they feel each other out, in the initial contact, at the initial meeting or whatever. So I guess maybe that's why they say women are why women pick and choose, or women are the primary choosers, because the man can approach her, touch bases with her, talk, catch her attention, but I guess in the finality of the long run, maybe that night as he trying to rap to her, whatever happens, it still comes down to her decision. Perceptions. Traditional gender roles. Historically, men was expected to be the primary initiators and women the recipients of the romantic attention. That's what I'm trying to say. The man gonna step to you, and then the women are the recipients of the romantic attention. The women get the attention. I'm trying to holler at, I'm trying to holler at baby girl. I'm trying to holler at this young lady or this female. I'm making my move toward her, and then she is just sucking up all the attention that I'm giving. But I'm the one that made the first move, as we would say. Social expectations. Society often places more pressure on women to be selective and discerning in their choices, while men are often seen as having a wider range of acceptable options. Well, that can be a point too, but I don't think it's more pressure on the women. Sometimes I think it's more pressure on the men, because think about it. The man has to put out a great resume where he has to talk right. He has to, of course, look right. He has to be a dresser pro. See, much as you would think the man is approaching the woman, and let this say the man is the company and he's trying to recruit the woman to bring in his company, I think it's just vice versa. Even though the man comes with everything, approaches her first, it makes the move. The man has to look nice. He has to be attractive. Of course, he has to have certain qualities about himself. And I'm not just talking about being nice and kind and everything. In this day and era, a man got to have things going for him. You know, he got to have the bag. He got to also have a nice car, because that's a lot of what these women are picking and choosing. I mean, I'm not trying to say women are superficial, but then again, a lot of women are superficial. That's the part about picking and choosing. That just keep it a buck. So that's just how that get down goes there. Perceived power dynamics. The idea that a woman pick and choose can sometimes be interpreted as a display of power, where the woman or the women are seen as having more control over the relationship's aggression. Well, it is, because think about it. A man can come in and be a man, and a man supposed to be aggressive, but he can't be aggressive if a woman not matching his aggression. If a man comes in and tries to be aggressive, but this woman is picking and choosing, and then she's already being in reject mode, he can be aggressive as he wants to, but nothing ain't gonna happen, because see, the woman is really dictating everything, because she is a picking and choosing. But that's why I go back to a lot of women say they looking for nice behavioral manners and how a man behave and everything and things like that. But these days, now older women, but a lot of the millennial these young, fine young ladies, and I'm talking about fine, built nice and everything, models, and saying from ages 20 to 30 or something like that, a lot of them, man, they looking for that superficial stuff. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. Even if you're an older guy, you got to have it going on. You know, you got to have, again, you got to look nice. You got to keep yourself in a certain kind of shape. You got to be attractive from the looks. You know, you got to be, complimentary to their eyes, but also you got to have that bag. You got to be dressed nice. You know, you got to have something where she can say, okay, well, if I'm gonna get with him, if I'm picking and choosing with him, he got a good job. You know, however he getting the money. You know, or if we gonna go big time, athletes, celebrities, or whatever, women pick and choose. A lot of groupies pick and choose on them because, you know, they looking for a way out, which they pick and choose the wrong way. They picking and choosing where they trying to hook an athlete, a rapper, or something like that. But what they doing that is they trying to pick and choose, you know, get with the dude, get a baby, and then think he got to pay child support the rest of his life. They picking and choosing the wrong way. See, that's superficial. We talking about that's superficial. They playing a tough game right there, because a lot of times the athletes basically get caught up in the rapture of the moment, you know, kicking with them, you know, have unprotected sex with them, and now a baby on the way. But then these athletes got so much money, millions of dollars, okay, they'll pay that child support, but they don't want to be with that woman. But that woman really is cool with that, because she did what she had to do. She picked and chose and got pregnant with by him. And so once she got pregnant, he got to pay that child support for 18 years. That's all she looking for. But the end thing about it, the baby suffers, because the athlete or the rapper doesn't really want the woman no more, because she was a groupie. And then again, the woman don't really want the athlete no more, or the rapper, because he don't really want her. She know he got to stay with the women, so all she is worried about and cool with is getting that check, getting that child support check. So, you know, that's how things go there. Choices in the relationships. Mutual choice. In reality, both men and women choose their partners. Both individuals have preferences to make decisions about who they want to be with. That's right. That's right. Now, if you want to break it down to commonality, like, you know, just plain there, everybody has their own choices. Everybody. Just because this certain man is a ladies' man, he basically, wherever he goes, he's a magnet to the ladies. They like his whole aura. They like what he brings to the table. They like, you know, what he has going on for him. But then again, it might be that one lady, and it could be 5 women that were like, all right, well, you know, I'll choose him. I like him. Look what he brings. But then it'll be that one lady that looks just as nice as them, like a different type of guy. Because each woman has a preference. No matter what. That's why I call it pick and choose. The ladies might say, girl, why you don't want to choose this man? You got 5 females. 4 of them going to pick this one dude that's got everything going for herself. But then again, you have this one female like, nah, you know, he ain't my taste. I'm not fitting him, you know. And the other female like, what's wrong with him? How this? He got it going on. He looks good. He might even have a bag, such and such a thing like that. But it's optional because every woman just like every man. And when you picking and choosing, people like different things. She might like a dude that might not even be as suave as this dude is and got it going on, but this kind of simple, cool type of dude that's very mannerable and everything. And she might just like choose a guy like that. That's why no matter what, even picking and choosing, you have preferences. That's why you pick and choose, because I believe pick and choose also means I'm not picking what everybody else picked. You have your pick, you have your pick, and you have your pick, and I have my pick. That's why we pick and choose. No universal standard. There is no single set of criteria that a woman uses to choose partners. And what one woman finds desirable, another one might not. That's true. That's true. One woman might like a man that's, you know, bald, dark-skinned, you know, smell good, muscle-bound, tone, keeps yourself in shape. One woman might like a dude that's light-skinned, you know, got a nice little fade, slender, but keeps himself all right, you know, funny, things like that. One woman might like a little short guy that's wear glasses, very office-like, you know, very corporate-like, does his thing, you know, handle his business, very mannerable. One woman might like a thug, you know. She might like a dude that's, you know, got his credibility in the street. Handle his business is a G, you know. She like that street mentality comes with it. That's what I'm trying to say. What one woman found desirable, another woman won't find desirable. That's why it's the oddity of doing that. That's why you pick and choose. Picking and choosing is straight up. Picking and choosing, as I see it like this, fellas, it's like an NFL draft. It's like an NBA draft, you know. I'm going to pick this dude. I think a woman say, you know how a team will pick a certain player because he brings this to the table on their offensive end. You know, they might pick this one dude because he brings this to the table on their defensive end. He's a better run blocker. He's a better route runner. He's a better running back that, you know, can go the distance with speed. He's a better running back that runs harder in between the trenches. So I think saying that, that's how women look at it like this. I pick and choose like that because I think he would be a better person that I got kids, even though he's not the father, but I believe he'll be a better man to my kids. But because you better believe a lot of women picking and choose, one of the biggest things they think about if they want something long term with a man is it'll be a minute before I bring them around their kids. And you know, kids are general and good judgment of how, when you bring a man around, or how you assess a man, whether is he a good dude or whatever. Because kids are like dogs. If you bring a man around them kids and they not liking that man, just like if you bring a woman around some kids and a man have them, that's a big red flag. If they not liking him, you gotta go, because them kids know the truth. It's something bad about that man. It's like it could be something bad about that woman. So, or they might look at it like this. They might like, I'm gonna pick and choose. I think this man right here I'm picking will be better in starting, you know, build something, a foundation together, more prominent, or get out and work. You know, won't be lazy. He will take the lead part rather than a man that he can build up, rather than a man that, as you first seen him, the woman was first seen him, he's saying all the right things, he seemed to be bringing out the right. He seemed to be talking about the right things. But when it's time to show up and show out, you know, he's not what he said he is. That's why they say pick and choose. It's a lot of different things. That's why they have preferences. That's why women pick and choose, because it's a lot of different factors. That's why everybody doesn't pick the same way. And I'm just not talking about this on the women level. Men do too. But mostly the pick and choose kind of breaks down more towards the women, because it's more women, and us as men, we're stepping to the women. That's why I believe a lot of times, think about it, fellas, why you think a lot of nights, and I'm not saying this woman is finna get with it, but a woman might have and entertain the idea of having 3 or 4 guys stepping to her at one night. She's picking and choosing. She might already know who she like, but she gonna kind of, you know, entertain the idea of conversating with 3 or 4 of them, because she want to break down, you know, she want to narrow it down to who she might eventually want. She not gonna, most of the time, just the first man she see, all right, that's the one I want. No, because she's not sure. Because again, a person can look good first impressions, but as you get to know him, just time go on, you really see through his true colors or things like that. So I believe that's why a woman will sometimes entertain 2 or 3, you know, conversations or mingling with 2 or 3 men so they can pick and choose. Beyond the superficiality, while initial attraction is a factor, women like men often look for qualities like emotional maturity, respect, and shared interest in a long-term partner. Well, I would tell you a while ago, that superficial stuff, but really, I see that for older people, because I'm just going to say this again. Most of these young females, and they are nice looking and bad, I see them on the consummate, and they got it going on, but they looking for the men that got the bigger bag, got the fat car, got the nice with the ride, you know, got the nice, got a nice place to stay, you know, can just looking good. They want money to spend on them. They want money to be spent on them. It's not even really like they picking and choosing. They just want to, like, okay, how much money you got? You gonna take me here, you gonna take me there, you gonna do this, you gonna do that, and then it all consumes of that, then that's when they'll get with you. I'm just keeping it a buck with you, picking and choosing. Now, just beyond the superficiality is older, probably, age brackets of women, you know, probably like 35 or 45. And even some of them are after the bag. But then again, a lot of them, 35 or 45, already done got it themselves. You know, they done got out there and made their own money, their own way. So they looking for somebody genuine. But if you talking about these young females that young and bad and got them banging bodies and, you know, pretty and everything like that, but not really doing nothing, they looking for a man, where it's a young man or it's an older gentleman. They got that bag. He keeping his looks up, you know, bank account loan, got a fat whip, because they looking at all this is, okay, I'm going to kick it with him. I'm going to give him what he want, which is I'm going to get to the sack and take care of him when the lights cut off. Along with the lights cut on, he take care of me, buying me bags, you know, buying me a fat whip, keeping me at hair salons, getting my nails done, taking me to spa days. So, you know, that's just how it goes down now. But it can be genuine. It can be genuine women that picks and choose. But this is just 21st century. Most of the time, the young women picking and choosing, man, they looking for somebody to pick up. They looking to get with somebody, hang on, especially if he got it going on financially and everything else, and they not going to let go. Why do women pick and choose? That's just what they does. 2 cents. My podcast. I'm Nino. Thank you.